Just looking out my window thinking, man. This is the state the game's left me in. I wish I was angry, but I'm just left in deep thought, in deep disappointment. Eventually, at this rate, very quickly, I will reach the stage I've reached with other developers, which is just pure apathy. Like, oh, I just don't feel anything at all when I look at your screw-ups. But right now, man, I'm just looking at Bethesda going, what happened to you? This fall-off needs to be studied. What am I talking about? It's the Fallout 4 Anniversary Edition once more. So, as we already know, but for those who are not caught up, last year Bethesda breaks the game with the next-gen update. That was 18 months ago. Here comes Bethesda in November to celebrate the anniversary of Fallout 4. And they're like, we got this great idea. We're going to give you a new version of the game with all of this Creation Club content, plus the introduction of Creation, so you can pay for your mods now, and nothing else really. They break the game again. They break it so much that, different from last year, Bethesda actually commits to a patch and hotfix roadmap for Fallout 4 for the rest of this year up until the first half of December. Now, it's not a win. There's no winning in this situation for Bethesda, but at least it's a baby step forward that they're going to try to fix the mess that they have created. So the first patch is out. My hope with this video was to tell you about the patch, which we're still going to do, and then relay to you my experience that says, hey, a lot of the problems I had with the game are fixed, and that would be really that. But unfortunately, what I have to tell you today is, as someone who's played hundreds of hours of Fallout 4 on my PC, has platinumed the game on PlayStation 4, and has played a decent amount of it on Xbox, mainly to test console mods. Definitely my least played platform of the three, but I've played a lot of Fallout 4, hundreds of hours of it, and I have seen all of its problems, from creative choices all the way to the bugs and janks and glitches that really define this game for a lot of people. But what I have not seen a lot of, really since the next-gen update, was frame rate drops. When the next-gen update hit, for me, it wasn't this egregious performance dip, but it went from like a steady 60 that I usually regularly experienced down to somewhere in like the 40s. And I was really disappointed by that. But as someone who plays a lot of retro games, it's not world ending for me. Well, what you're seeing on screen right now is world ending for me. I cannot play this launch era PS3 ass game now. What is going on here, man? So this is the only time I got a little fired up. I was like, really? Like, it's running worse for me now? It did not take me longer than 10 minutes to find this problem here. And I could not believe it. I have never seen Fallout 4 in all the hundreds of hours I've logged in the game run like this. But there you go. That's the Bethesda experience right now, man. And we are going to have a serious conversation about this QA department and what the hell is going on, because I know the quality of output can be much better. I mean, Shattered Space is the start of something funky over there, but at least you could say with Starfield, granted, its PC launch was not really great because it was missing a lot of key features, but at least on a polished level, given Microsoft said they threw a lot of QA into the game, I can look at that and go, hey, you can at least feel that there. So I'm wondering, like, are all the resources hogged up for Elder Scrolls 6, and that's why Starfield just went silent for over a year and Fallout 4 continues to trip over itself? I don't know, but all I see is pure incompetency, and it's so disappointing because y'all should be on the moon right now. Next season of Fallout's about to drop. Here's Fallout 4 Anniversary Edition update, easy win. That's not the case. So what does this patch do? How is the community responding to it? Because it's not really just about me, right? Like, if I'm just one guy having a problem, who cares? But how is the community faring with this new patch for Fallout 4? We're going to dive into that. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're new here, you're into Bethesda stuff, I mean, we're always going to be talking about them because you got to signal boost these types of issues. Consider subscribing. So the patch is broken down by Bethesda on their Steam page. They say, thank you for your continued communication with us on your current Fallout 4 experience. That is a very PR-coded way of saying it's broken, and thanks for telling us about all the problems you have. The team is focused on DLC installation issues, occasional crashing, and general user experiences in patch 1, and of course, continued preparation for mod storage expansion for consoles. While we initially hope to release the storage expansion in our November patch, we need a little extra time to roll out this heavily requested feature from the community. We will share more details on the December patch 2 in the coming weeks. In the meantime, to help prepare for the mod storage expansion, console players may want to ensure their mod load order is protected. So for those who do have a mod load order set up on their consoles, what you want to do is go over the creations page and hit the button that corresponds with the load order archive on the bottom of the creations page, and then you can save that load order to Bethesda.net. If you don't do this, Bethesda is going to wipe your whole ass order. So console players, welcome to the modding game. That's what us PC players are telling you right now. And of course, we'll also talk about that with the continuous need for updates with Fallout 4 leading to mods never really being safe on this game anymore. So now you know what this patch is aiming to do. Bethesda also puts a little tease in here. They say, we're excited to share the Varmint Rifle, the first of several free Fallout 4 creations coming to players, which will be available next week. Fall down a manhole, discover a unique rifle, solve an elaborate set of puzzles, but in true Wasteland fashion, you're not the only thing trapped down here. And we see a Deathclaw there, which this sounds identical to what Bethesda just put out with like the whole Tale of the Beast Hunter thing. I hope this one comes to PlayStation fans, by the way, as we'll talk about in a little bit. PlayStation fans still haven't gotten the free creation in Tale of the Beast Hunter. I doubt this one gets their way. And PlayStation fans are just taking an ass whooping right now from Bethesda, as we'll highlight with some of the patch issues here. Still, I got to ask this question because this is one of those moments where Bethesda PR and communications and marketing have done an awful job with this, because if you knew, like if you have a content roadmap ready for this game and you have a fan base of Fallout fans that are starving for more single player, I know 76 is getting updated, but single player Fallout content, why wouldn't you lean into that, dude? For a lot of people, this could, I don't think these creations are going to be great, but like this could offset at least they're doing this. But Bethesda has been their own worst enemy here. I guess cool, they're doing some extra free content here, but what does this update that we're talking about today come packed with? It says it fixes crashing when starting a new game with creations installed on PS4, fixes a crash when quitting after exiting an interior with the Pip-Boy open on PlayStation 4 and 5. Guest and local users can no longer access the creations menu, which resulted in an inoperable state. They addressed rare crashes when choosing to use the save data load order, especially when loading saves with missing creations, fixed a crash that would occur when selecting purchase credits on PC, and fixed a crash when selecting download all owned Creation Club creations. As for saving and loading, exit saves are now correctly created when exiting to the main menu. They fixed infinite loading when downloading missing Creation Club content from a save made on a different platform. Switching Xbox user profiles no longer causes soft locks or a loss of controls. Fixing an issue where loading a save file with different creations enabled did not prompt a load order warning, and downloading a creation and disabling it immediately will no longer cause content that relies on it to become permanently disabled, which is something that was happening with a lot of PlayStation fans, where they were highlighting like, hey, can't access my DLC, what's going on here? By the way, went on Reddit, still a problem for a lot of PlayStation fans out there. Still can't access their DLC. What gives, man? They can't access the stuff they paid for. As for the UI and user experience, they say they improved the performance in creations menu across all platforms. They fixed soft locking when entering and exiting the creation menu repeatedly. They fixed infinite loading / hang when loading a save file that requires creations. Not true. We'll talk about that. Bundle prices now update immediately after purchasing individual items in the bundle. Bundles now show correct file sizes for included creations. Localization improvements. In-game creations menu now respects the load order set by the player, not alphabetical order. Players can now like / unlike creations in the load order menu as intended. Guest / local users can no longer access the creations menu. Option is now grayed out on PS4, and downloaded creations will remain visible in your load order after deletion from Bethesda.net. So as you can see here, one of the problems that I also called out in the video talking about Bethesda's response to the launch issues of Anniversary Edition was that, yeah, a lot of it is focused around the Anniversary update. Now, what is the experience from the community? Well, if you go over to Fallout 4's Reddit page, not great. Originally, someone had posted, don't update the game no matter what. The update completely broke the game. Creation / Creation Club is no longer available, and the game gets rid of all of your saves. They then followed up placing an edit that they released another patch a few minutes ago, and now everything's back to normal. Now, I know talking about that, people go, well, they fixed it. What's the problem here? The problem is that it happened at all. But I don't think this problem requires a ton of explanation at all for most of us here. Bethesda had an update that was supposed to fix the game. They dropped the update. It broke the game. They had to hotfix their own update. Is that really how it should be? What's going on with QA? Like, really, what's going on with checking the quality of things that Bethesda is putting out? Because here's what Bethesda should be doing with Fallout 4, but I know they won't because it's a pride thing, and that's beta testing these updates. Starfield did the same thing. And that's why Starfield, for all its many flaws, is a lot more polished than most Bethesda Game Studios games, because they went through a proper process that Bethesda clearly as a company needs. The PTS for Fallout 76 has helped that game find some level of polish, which I know at one point we all thought was impossible, but they were able to really stress test a lot of these big updates coming to the game. Famous last words, big updates coming to Fallout 76 in just a few days now, and I hope that doesn't break that game. I guess you don't know with Bethesda QA nowadays, but I look at what's happening here and I just wonder how these things continue to slip through the cracks. Even if they went in and they fixed it immediately after, the problem is that it happened at all. Other problems people are having are things like blank creation, images, descriptions, and names appearing like they're just still having issues with the creation menu entirely. They can't delete the mods even. Some people are saying that they went to their installed section of the Creation Club quests and there were tons of creations they never downloaded and a few lines that just said lookup failed. So a lot of people are just having like random content dumped into their game. And then of course there's the whooping PlayStation fans are taking. Some people are asking about the version 1.41 update and saying how it still doesn't fix the issue with DLC on PS4. Meanwhile, there are other people on Reddit asking about the Beast Hunter and Bounty Hunter creations and if they're coming to PlayStation at all, which by the way, in all of the numerous posts that Bethesda has made about Fallout 4, they have still yet to address if any of that content is coming to PlayStation fans. And I don't know if this is a Xbox thing, you know, like, hey, we're owned by Xbox, PlayStation fans, suck it. I don't know if it's any of that. I doubt it, because, Xbox has been play anywhere. This is an Xbox. So I don't see that as a reasonable excuse here. But also, Bethesda has had so many problems with PlayStation, going back to Skyrim being completely broken on PlayStation 3. And obviously even further than that, you have exclusive games being made on Xbox consoles for a lot of Bethesda's early console life. Morrowind, Oblivion, of course, being some of those primary examples there. When console mods did not come to PlayStation 4, who was Bethesda pointing the finger at but PlayStation? So it's a long story of Bethesda just neglecting the PlayStation base, which is a lot of their players. And what this is all amounted in is something that we can all kind of agree upon, which is what this post here highlights: the long-term view of a bitter Fallout 4 player. No new games and breaking old ones. They talk about the financial support and backing of a new owner in Microsoft, yet there is no Fallout 5 or Elder Scrolls 6, and every patch kills off the existing free modding community by introducing game-breaking bugs, and Bethesda has to keep fixing them, so no one can really hold on to their mod order unless they mod themselves back into the old version of Fallout 4. And it's that sort of bitterness that has really taken hold of the community. Here's how I know it's a very real thing. I made a video talking about season 2 of the Fallout TV show, and I think that looks awesome. I shared that sentiment in my video on it. Oh boy, did some of my community try to let me have it. They're like, how could you? And I'm like, my brother in Christ, Bethesda and Amazon are not the same thing. I am not out here saying what's happening with the Fallout 4 update is okay because the TV show looks gas. But at the end of the day, you get where the sentiment's coming from, that people are at this point in some pockets of the internet where it's like, screw Bethesda anything. And I do understand that, even if I just need to say to people, again, your outrage is not received properly from companies like Bethesda. If you're just pissed off at everything and you end up going after things like the TV show that I think are doing the right thing and are written by fans and directed by fans and really don't have much Bethesda meddling at all. But again, I get the sentiment, and I say all that because I do think some of the bitterness can be reflected in the Steam player count, which of course is information that is useful but doesn't depict the entire picture of like how are things going on console. One day hopefully we'll get that type of information, but for now what we really have to lean into is this player chart here. And what you'll see is with the launch of the anniversary update for Fallout 4, it really didn't make a difference at all in its Steam player count. Like, it was at just under 20K. And as you can see, based on the line here, before and after the fact, Fallout 4 has floated around that point. The highest it really went in this entire stretch was 25,000 players at once, which I know many developers will be thrilled about. But of course, if you're Bethesda and you're dropping this big update, I think you're hoping for a bigger turnout. Now, I think the big turnout will happen after the TV show. All Fallout games are going to see a nice uptick. Of course, we have a lot of Fallout retrospective reviews planned for that time, so we'll be playing a lot of Fallout here. So I don't want to read too deeply into the numbers, but what this reads as is, of course, first and foremost, this is an update primarily focused on console players, but also that this update has not moved the needle and you've just pissed off your base. So, Bethesda's got to get one right here, whether it's through the Starfield updates or something. They got to get a win somewhere, man, because it's going to be a long road to Elder Scrolls 6 otherwise, in a lot of jaded gamer takes that feel quite validated at this point. And so that is the state of Fallout 4 after its next-gen update. For me, the load times are still terrible. I was sitting in another loading screen for over a minute, and then, of course, my frame rate's terrible. So I'm left again sitting on my hands wondering, like, oh, will I ever be able to enjoy this game like I once did? Or do I really have to go and, like, buy the GOG version or mod my Fallout 4 to just play the original version of this game? That's just disappointing, man. Again, the word to kind of open the video. So that's what's going on here with Fallout 4's latest patch. We'll see what happens in early December. Look, I'm going to be honest with you all. When we talked about Bethesda's patch roadmap, I thought it'd be a very quiet thing. Like, I thought, okay, after this, they're going to quietly fix the game and we'll talk about it in December and just see where it's at. I did not think I'd sit down with the first patch and have this much to say about it. But yeah, Bethesda's QA department needs a deep assessment at this point, or more resources, one or the other. I don't know what's going on there. All right, I leave you with my thoughts. Don't play this game. Goodbye.